and welcome everybody. My name is Sarah and I work with the Jennifer Jones team, and we are so excited here tonight. We have the amazing Michael Buslovich with us to talk to us about everything to do with Florida real estate, the Canadian way, which is what we're interested, right? How we get those sunny climates so we don't have to stay stuck in the Canadian winters. So before we get started, guys, we do want to have all your questions. We want this to be interactive. We want to hear everything that you want to know about this. We have so much knowledge. We're going to ask you to keep your questions to the end, so that way we have time to get through everything, and we may end up answering your question along the way. So at the end, or while we're going through, you can throw your questions in here on the Q&A right at the bottom of your screen, and we will make sure that we get to everybody. So no worries at all. So Michael, I'm going to pass this over to you. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what we need to know here?
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here today. You know, I was going to leave to Florida, but you know what? Jennifer said, Michael, you can't leave. You got to do this in Canada because we got to do this the Canadian way. So I'm here. I just want to warn everybody, I am going to be using the F word a lot. So please don't get offended. And we all know what the F word is. Obviously, it's going to be Florida. So we're going to have a lot of
no swear jar needed, right?
Yes, no swear jar needed, because Jennifer said, be careful, be careful. So let's get started. I wanted to kind of share, I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. Give me a moment. Let's do this. Okay, my presentation. Let's do this. Okay, so just to get started here, I am the founder and CEO of a company called Suncasa Group. And what we do is we specialize in helping Canadians purchase real estate in the state of Florida. Sorry, there we go. It's kind of working here. So I'll give you my journey. So in 2014, I had a limo company. I sold it in 2014, and I was not in real estate at all. I actually was in a completely different business, but I started doing a lot of research, and I looked at the different markets, and I thought Florida would be a really good opportunity, but I wasn't sure. So what I did is I sold my company, took a flight, got to understand, Florida, got to see different parts of Florida, and then what I started to do is I actually started investing in real estate in the state of Florida. What I did originally was I started doing fix and flips. So I started doing fix and flips in Tampa. We started with one property. That property I bought for $59,000, and I sold it for $99,000 in a matter of 3 weeks. I said, this is amazing. I could do this all the time. And we actually did it. We created a pretty big portfolio where we were doing this for a couple of years. And what happened was people started contacting me and say, Michael, can I invest with you? Can I start doing stuff with you? And I said, sure, why not? So I thought, why not get licensed and start helping people purchase real estate? As I started doing that, I came back to Canada as well. And I also got licensed here in Ontario. I got licensed in Florida actually in 2015. And I got licensed in Canada in 2017. So, I'm licensed here in Ontario, also licensed in Florida. And I was going back and forth for quite a few years. And I saw the disconnect with a lot of Canadians buying in Florida because they were not getting the right information, especially when it came to taxes or putting it on a corporation. So people weren't sure what to do because the information that they were getting were not from Canadian experts. They were getting it from American experts. Like they were seeking information from American realtors or American, accountants. And I saw that, there was that gap there that I needed to fill. And we decided to open Suncasa Group. And what we do, as I mentioned, we specialize in helping Canadians purchase in the state of Florida, and we guide you through the whole process. So enough about me and how exciting I am. I want to share all this information with you guys because I think it's important for somebody to give you the right information and guide you on the right path. So when you decide to purchase, you're making the right, proper decisions that are for Canadians. Proper taxes, how you do your taxes, how you structure it, if you're putting on a corporation or you're putting on if you're putting on under your personal name. So these are things people don't know. Also, how to get mortgages, where would I get a mortgage, stuff like that. So let's continue. Let's talk about Florida, why people love the Sunshine State so much. Well, first of all, as we all know, Florida is only a 2-hour and 50-minute flight. So from Pearson International, you could hit any major city in the state of Florida under 3 hours. So it's super convenient. Also, it allows you, if you own a property there, if you have to see your property, you have to do anything at your property. It's sometimes we're stuck in traffic for over 2 hours. I know I have, especially I have a property. I live in Bradford, and going from downtown Toronto, I've been in traffic for over 2 hours. Also, why do people love Florida? Theme parks. Everybody loves Disney. Golfing. Golfing is fantastic. And the fact is, you can golf all year round. So instead of having it seasonal, if you're an avid golfer, you get to enjoy the sunshine and get to golf as much as you want. And who doesn't love shopping? Obviously, there's a lot of shopping opportunities in the state of Florida. Let's get some information on why people are moving or people love Florida so much. Number one, statistically, there's about 10,000 Canadians that have actually moved and are living in Florida permanently. Every day, there's about 900 people that are moving to the state of Florida. Since COVID, there's been over 1 million people that have moved from, obviously from different provinces here, but from different states. And I think COVID changed, a lot of things for people. And the fact that, Florida it was more of a free state where people could do stuff. They felt more confident to do business and everything else. So the economy of Florida has definitely grown, and the fact that obviously the weather is fantastic. I mean, you got 360 days of sunshine, which is fantastic. Yeah, you can Google it. You can check it out. Also, I mean, the fact that the cost of living, yes, it's gone up since the last couple of years. But the fact that, it's still relatively less expensive than it is here, especially when it comes to purchasing real estate. So this is actually the property I discussed that I purchased. It was 1808 Heather Avenue. I bought this one, as I mentioned, for $59,000. October, actually, 2014. Spent 17 grand in renovations. Sold it in 3 weeks for 97. Making a 13% return, in under a month, which is fantastic. I kept doing that. The markets were fantastic. They still are very good, but at those times as well, we did tons and tons of flips. And like I said, and this is kind of how it started on my journey of people investing with us. Let's talk about historical resistance of the Florida market, because people will know, hey, Michael, well, I don't know. I heard that the market's going to go down. I heard that this is going to happen. My cousin told me, my neighbor told me, based on the immigration of people coming in, and they are coming in with a lot of money from other states because they are able to, they sold their homes for a pretty good amount, and they were able to purchase properties for less amount of money. In the state of Florida, obviously. So, the markets have kept going up and up because they're not building fast enough. Just like with the same kind of problems we have here, where we're running out of homes. And that's kind of what's been happening where, because I'm on the phone constantly, I'm doing Zooms constantly with developers, builders, not only here, but also in Florida, because I work with investors primarily. And, we're always looking at the markets and understanding the markets, because we want to be able to provide you the right information and guide you, in the proper purchase of a home that actually is going to, give you a return on your investment, but you're going to be able to enjoy it. So yes, there's tons of development happening. They're not developing fast enough. I mean, I have a place in Orlando and they just keep, it just keeps expanding. They're building and building, and a lot of stuff is always sold out. So it's been amazing. It's been amazing, and I see a lot of commercial development as well happening. Like we had a Zoom today about self-storage units, for example. There's a company that we're discussing, possibly partnering with as well to build and develop self-storage units. And that's something obviously we can share with everyone. I mean, we are investor driven, so we will showcase different types of investments depending on what you guys are looking at. And also here, one thing about Florida, everybody knows, or if you don't know, but it is a tax-friendly state. So Florida, when it comes to taxes, Florida itself does not have a state tax. There is a federal tax. Also, if you have it incorporated, the tax is much lower than it would be even here in Ontario. I mean, we pay a lot of taxes here, guys. We all know that. So that's why a lot of investors, snowbirds, and everybody from different states or even countries are flocking to Florida. I didn't mention countries, actually mentioned states, but there's tons of people that also been moving from, South America, from Brazil, from you name it. One of the properties we sold, I mean, they bought it. They came from Mexico, for example. So, it's very international based. It's not just Floridians buying or people from different states. It really is the world coming to Florida because they believe in the value that they're getting for their money and the opportunities. It is a business friendly state where people feel that, if they have a business or whatever, they encourage you to have to make money. It is also a landlord friendly state. So anybody that has any properties here or has dealt with the Landlord Tenant Act or tribunal here, we know the delays and the stress that we've all gone through. And, people are seeing that it is much easier in Florida. The eviction process could take 3 to 4 weeks. You guys were thinking I was going to say months, but you can really evict someone probably within 4 to 6 weeks. So that is unheard of here. But there it's pretty normal as long as you go through the proper channels, of course. A sheriff will come and escort those people out of the home because they will be officially squatters. But it is done properly through the courts. You do have to file. It costs about $500 to file. And then you go through the process, and then they get evicted. So again, friendly for business, friendly for landlords or people that own properties. So it gives you peace of mind knowing that when you have your property, that if you're doing an annual rental, that if your tenant decides not to pay or not decides but doesn't pay, that at least you have peace of mind knowing that you have the proper recourse in order for them to be evicted in a timely manner without going through all these hoops that we have here, months and months and months, and we don't really know when that eviction process will happen because there's no actual deadline. It's more like, well, when we get to it. So again, this is one of the reasons people love Florida, and also obviously the great returns that they get on their investment. We talked about affordability. If you look at the GDP growth is to $1.4 trillion. Affordability is very different comparable to our affordability. An average home price is about $410,000. There are cheaper homes depending on where you want to be. If you're in a smaller city, they will be cheaper. If you're in a metropolitan city, then an average home you're looking at about 400 grand. I don't know if you guys remember last time you can buy a home for 400 grand in Toronto. I don't know, 1982. I don't know. I'm just saying a long time ago. Compared to Central Ontario's average, which is $1.1 million, that's a huge difference. And as I mentioned, landlord-friendly state, no rent control, no max charge on security, eviction process 3 days. So with 3 days, you write a written notice stating that, hey guys, you're behind on your rent. If you don't comply, then you will be evicted. Florida's average property tax is just shy under 1%, which is pretty decent, which is actually lower than the US average. So again, landlord friendly state, eviction is not an issue. Affordability is still there. If you compare our markets to their markets, you don't have to drive 3 hours or 4 hours out of the city to buy a little 800 square foot house here for 400 grand. You literally could be in a metropolitan city, you could buy one. I mean, South Florida has become a lot more expensive for sure. But we're finding that a lot of people, our clients especially, every time we do a discovery Zoom with our clients, I find that people are pushing towards Central Florida because of the affordability aspect, and also hurricanes. People will ask those questions, and we'll get to those questions as well, because I know these are going to come up. Hurricanes and other stuff. So taxes. So we'll leave all those questions till the end, but I will have all those answers for you guys. Benefits of investing in Florida. I love benefits. Okay, so number one, it's a historically stable market. Yes, somebody's going to bring up 2008. I know, but that was not a realistic market. That was, we all know, if you watch the movie, we all know kind of what happened with the mortgages. But if you look at Florida as a whole, it's a very steady, consistent, reliable market that you can actually base it on inflation, 3 to 5% appreciation value year after year. COVID did change that, prices will tripled or quadrupled. But again, if you're looking at the numbers now from last year, they're pretty steady. People have come to, hey, Michael, the markets are, getting softer. So the markets where the end user, meaning the person that lives in Florida, or the annual, those prices have adjusted a little bit, but anything to do with short-term rentals, they're still pretty strong. And because certain communities don't allow STRs or short-term rentals, they do, but they have limitations, meaning that they're restrictive based on a 3-month or 6 months that you can rent it out minimum, where certain areas like Orlando, like Davenport and Kissimmee, which are geared for short-term rentals that are non-restrictive. You can live in it, you can rent it out for the day, for the week, for the month. There's absolutely no restrictions. And that's what has really been appealing to a lot of our clients, because they get to use their properties and at the same time, they get to make money. So I think those two factors are great. You get to travel, you get to stay in your home when you choose to, and it actually pays itself. Plus, you get actual cash flow. And we'll go through that a little bit later as well. Global appeal, attracting international investors. I did mention it previously. Florida is international investor based, meaning that everybody from everywhere is coming and investing or buying in the state of Florida. They love Florida because things are just easier. Things get done faster. They're more receptive. There's less red tape, especially when it comes to development or building or doing things. It allows, business-minded people, or even just the average person looking for a home, they just feel like they have more options, in the sense of they get more bang for their buck, and also they get to save money, which is, I think, super, super important. Everybody knows, Florida is a retirement hub. One point, everybody thought that it's all retirees. If you're older, more mature, 55 and over, well, now it's like 85 and over, because this is how it is right now. 85 and over, whatever the case. It's not like that anymore. People are flocking to Florida at all age groups. You have young professionals, you have lots and lots of families. I think that's why there's such a huge growth as well. And obviously there are retirees, the snowbirds, they love to come. So, Florida is 24/7. It's not, they don't have winter like we do here. So it allows people to constantly come. It is driven on hospitality and real estate. So those are major markets. They do have a financial sector, obviously, and, exporting, importing stuff because, they have harbors and stuff. But at the same time, there's tons and tons of people constantly coming from all walks of life in the sense of age groups and so forth. So it's been amazing. It's become a melting pot. It's been fantastic. And if you haven't been there for a while, if you've been there like 10 or 20 years ago, it's not the Florida you remember. It's so different. The the restaurants and the nightlife and obviously the beaches and the communities that have been developed there. It's become fantastic. People just are in love with the change. It's become better. It has become a little more expensive, yes, but relatively in comparison again to Canada, it isn't. So you're still getting a lot more value for your dollar. Florida offers diverse opportunities. You got to ask yourself, or what kind of buyer are you? Are you looking for a secondary home? Are you looking for a vacation property? Are you looking for Airbnb, Verbo property? We have other investments that we will do with our clients where we do multifamily projects, or we're looking at some hotels that we were going to retrofit. So it really stems to what you're looking for as an investor. And then what we do, as I said, we go on a discovery Zoom, or and we talk about the best solution for you as to find the best opportunity for you, especially, or you just want to buy a vacation home and you just want to go there and have a lot of fun and enjoy the beach and relax and forget about the investing stuff. Just enjoy the property. Do it. And you have that option. The best part is, like I mentioned, 2-hour and 50-minute flight. You get to your place, you get there, the air conditioning is probably still running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it is hot, it is Florida. And then, you go into the pool or whatever you do, you get to enjoy. Most people that are purchasing with us are buying in gated communities. So it actually feels like you're on a resort. So when you get in there, it's gated, you get it, you get into your home or your condo, whatever you purchase. You go enjoy the facilities. Most of the communities do have clubhouses. So you've got a gym, arcade, a little mini theater. Again, every community is different, but these are the things that they offer. You've got your pool. They even have a hot tub. I don't know why people go in the hot tub when it's hot, but hey, you never know. And you just enjoy it. It's an amazing opportunity. So people love it. It's been fantastic. So let's talk about some of the things that you guys are probably waiting to ask me. Some of the tax implications, and we're going to get to questions, but I'll give you a generalized understanding. Number one, we mentioned that Florida has no state tax. Number two, as Canadians, we do have a treaty with the United States. So we don't get double tax. I just want to clarify, because people say that to me, well, I got double tax. So there is obviously a percentage that is taxable. It's obviously different than Canadian percentage. So you pay the CRA, and if there's anything left, you do pay a portion to the IRS, and then you pay the CRA. But generally speaking, the way we structure all these properties, we help our clients minimize taxation because we connect you with the proper professionals. So we connect you with tax attorneys. We also have accountants that are able to help you and guide you. Again, you're getting experts that are focused on helping Canadians understand the processes of purchasing, outside of purchasing, but also owning property. And if you're collecting an income from your Airbnb, you also make sure that you get the tax savings because you have a professional that understands the best way to do it for a Canadian to save on taxes. A lot of people say, well, I put it on an LLC, but a lot of you don't know that LLCs, which are limited liability corporations, We don't have that in Canada. So that does not help you, in saving any taxes. In the US possibly, but you also, we don't, so we teach you guys, if you're putting in a corp, which kind of corp to put it in. So it allows you to have that tax savings. Again, we put you in touch with any of our professionals, and then they will guide you through the whole process. People have enjoyed the returns on their investment, and I've had not one client, and we do sell every month. We do help our clients. We got them through the process. Every month, I've not had anybody come back and say, Michael, I've paid too much tax. So, which is good, but they've said it here in Canada. I've said it enough too. Man, I paid a lot of tax, which is kind of crazy, right? Mortgages. If you need a mortgage, a lot of people need mortgages. So people say, hey, Michael, that's a lot of money I have to pay for this property. If I convert it from American to US, that's a lot of money I have to pay. Well, so first of all, there are solutions for Canadians. Royal Bank is one of our partners. They work with us, and Royal Bank has cross-border banking, so does TD. If you are a TD client, if you want to use them. They offer Canadians mortgages in the United States, not just Florida. So if you're looking in other states, I focus on Florida. Majority of the mortgages, what I've spoken to them, are done in Florida, believe it or not. Canadians still love to buy in Florida. And we don't get the interest rates are not higher than Americans would pay. We don't pay, foreign national interest rates. What we pay is based on our Canadian income and our Canadian credit. Actually, the interest rate is less than what Americans pay for homes in America. So a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people think, hey, I thought I had to pay like 12% interest or 10% interest. Not at all. RBC Bank, TD have designed these programs specifically to help Canadians purchase in the United States, Florida being the number one place where everybody purchases. And again, we guide you through the process. We connect you with the right professionals. We will set you up with RBC in the US. They will guide you through the whole process. And if for some reason you choose that you are, you want to put under a corporation, you're not putting it under your own personal name. RBC does not do business banking, but we do have other lenders that we work with that have actual offices here, and they have offices in Florida that they work with Canadians, and they will find a alternative mortgage solution. Again, you're not paying crazy pricing. Price interest, sorry. You will be getting a proper interest rate based on your income and credit, not because you're a foreign national. So I think that's kind of important for people to understand. And also I wanted to touch on a note where when you're getting a mortgage in the US, you're getting it in the US. So what that means is RBC, for example, you can buy as little as 20% down. So people didn't know that. So with 20% down, you're able to purchase a property in Florida. So the only way you see the currency conversion is based on your down payment. So if your down payment is 60 grand, American, whatever it comes to when you base it on Canadian, so maybe you have to put down 80,000 Canadian to make it 60,000 USD. Again, I don't have the currency conversion calculator with me, but I'm just using that as an example. But on your mortgage side, you're getting that mortgage in the US. And I'm going to share some more details because I think there's going to be a lot more questions, but I just want to go through the slides, and then I think we'll go more into a deep dive of understanding the mortgage aspect of it. Also the taxation aspect. I'm not an accountant or a lawyer, but I can definitely guide you in the right direction, and then we can also set you up with the proper professionals to help you through the process. Okay, our partners. We discussed RBC Bank. We do have some other partners that we work with. We have Logica attorneys at law. Logica is actually our immigration partner. They've come to our seminars. We've done some podcasts. They also, anybody looking to move to Florida, they can also assist you guys. So, which is amazing. So like I said, the resources are here. We are here to help and guide you. And I didn't want to bore you with, a 50 slideshow presentation here. I think the way it works best is when, I get questions asked, and then I'd love to answer your questions, because I think, we'll pinpoint exactly what you're asking. So this way we can give you true clarity. I wanted to show you some stuff before we get into the Q&A. This is a property that my client purchased, because I got to show you some houses. You're like, Michael, show me some homes. I mean, we want to see some homes. You're talking a lot. So my clients bought this property. It is in Champions Gate, which is part of Orlando. It is a beautiful property. It's just under 2,000 square feet. My client did buy it in 2019 for 363 grand. We actually just sold it for my client, but I just wanted to kind of show you through the process. We are looking for another opportunity for them right now as well. But I wanted to kind of go through the case study with you guys. And I want to give you a breakdown so you can see, if you buy a property, what kind of returns you're going to get on your investment. Because people want to know. I mean, hey, Michael, I'm buying something, but I also want to know what I'm getting back. Fine, I got the mortgage. Okay, we've got the tax thing done, but what am I going to get back what's my return on my investment? How is it better than buying, let's say, in somewhere here in Ontario? So I'm just going to open up one sec. I'm going to go here. Okay, I'm going to show you the property first, because that's the fun part. So this is, let me just open it. There we go. Sorry, guys, I had to reload it. It's always like that. When you want it to start it, it takes a moment. There we go. 460 Ocean Course Drive in Davenport, Florida, which is part of Orlando. This is a just shy under 2,000 square foot property. My clients, we actually sold this property for 475, but we'll give you the breakdown. So this property was purchased brand new from the builder. My clients did invest in, obviously, the furnishings and stuff in the property. Most brand new, actually all brand new subdivision homes or new homes that are built from the builder, obviously, they come with all appliances. They come with all blinds, air conditioning, and they all generally are set up as smart homes. So these are things that you don't have to pay for. When you're buying a resale, especially a short-term rental, it's a beautiful property. You're buying it furnished. So you are actually, so this home, the way you see it in its current state, this is how the buyer purchased this property. So it is a turnkey home. There's nothing for them to do. They took on the same property management company. So they actually bought the property with rents or tenants already associated with it, or we call them guests because it's a short-term rental. So they have an income already attached to this property. So the first day that they got the property, it was already pre-rented for them. So they were collecting income immediately, which I think is fantastic. What do you guys think? I think it's a beautiful property. Do we get to see the pool part yet?
I think we're all waiting to see the pool, right? We hear
know,
Florida,
right?
we're thinking of pool, right?
Michael, show me the good stuff, not the boring stuff. Okay.
I mean, I think that is a beautiful home. And again, when you're saying at 475, thinking about that in, GTA prices, that definitely, I think, is making a lot of people think and the wheels turning.
So here's the caveat. This home comes with its own pool. So, I mean, Can you go wrong? And he did leave the barbecue. So they also got a barbecue with it, which is, I think, is amazing. So as you see it in its current state, you got the Oasis Clubhouse, which is part of the community, theater, arcade. This is the restaurant portion of it. So you can come in, you can have dinner, lunch, breakfast. It opens at 8 a.m. Splash pad for the kids. Lazy river. And you got the pool. And that's just one of the clubhouses in that particular community. That is the main one, but there are other clubhouses as well. This particular community also sits on a golf course. So outside of, if you want to, the kids can go play, at the arcade, you can go for a swim, watch a movie. What you do is you rent the movie theater. Well, you don't rent it, you just sign up, and then they'll play movies for you. They have stuff from Disney or whatever the case. So I've done that with my kids. It's been amazing. So lifestyle, you get lifestyle, you get to stay in it, you get to make money on it, you get to enjoy it, and you get the weather. I mean, to me, that checks off all the boxes. I mean, everything you could imagine you have. It's warm, it's beautiful, you get return on your investment, you get to enjoy your property, and you can create a lifestyle where you could travel as needed when you want to visit your property. It gets cold here, as you notice. It's starting to get a little more chillier, especially in the evenings. In a month or so, it's going to get cold. By November, it's going to get cold, and you know what? You want to travel to your property, you can do that. So I use a software which pulls the information from Airbnb. So what it does is it actually pulls the information where it gives me the occupancy and it gives me the daily rate. So based on this property, because we use this property as our model property here, or our subject property, sorry. This particular property, Airbnb says that it's bringing in about $232 a night. Occupancy is about 67%, which is pretty good. Again, guys, this is an Airbnb. This is not a long-term rental. So this is a property that people are renting for the week, for a couple of weeks. They come on vacation with their family, and then they go back home. So it's constantly being rented out. So there are times where the slowest times in Orlando, for example, are May and September. So May is, to be honest, this particular property, we couldn't do any showings until May because it was constantly booked. And then, you get the snowbirds coming in. September is when the kids go back to school. So, it gets a little slower, but literally 1 month, 2 months out of the year. The rest, it's always busy. Like right now, so they start for Halloween's coming, but they prepare for Halloween in September. So if you're in any of the communities, you're going to see all this stuff going up because a lot of people are coming, because a lot of the theme parks, especially in Orlando, they have all this stuff going on for Halloween, and they do it before October 31st because they know how many people are going to be traveling from all over the world, because people love to go to Disney or they love to go to Orlando or the theme parks as well, or Universal or whatever it is. So going back to the property here, annual revenue for this property is $56,773. So you're buying a property for $475,000. It's bringing you in $60,000, just shy under 60 grand annually, which is pretty good. So this gives you a breakdown. So after expenses, even if you have a mortgage on it with 20% down, and I can show you the expenses, you're netting in your pocket, let's say 1,100 USD. So 1,100 USD is probably about 1,400 bucks Canadian. So think about it. It pays itself. You get to use it, and it brings you in 1,100 bucks American every month. Okay. Now, again, I didn't create this on a spreadsheet. This is a software that pulls the information. So I just want to make that clear. So this is pretty true. Also, when we're looking at properties, we can ask for sales reports to understand what they're bringing in. So given operating expenses, so another thing is when you're paying the HOA, which is like the condo fees, a lot of stuff is included, like your internet, your cable, your water. So most of the time, the only thing you're paying for is your electricity. So especially if you have tenants going in and out and doing stuff, it works really well because, people using water, you're not paying for it. Internet, you have, cable, you don't have to pay for that, which is fantastic. And also remember, guys, if they're booking through Airbnb, the cleaning fee is paid by the tenant or by your guest. So that also doesn't come out of your pocket. So you're not incurring that expense. Here, quick demonstration of a mortgage, 474,000. That's what's estimating. We sold for 475. Down payment 94K, which is based on the 20% your loan. 30-year amortization rate. I put the highest 6.5, and I spoke to RBC a couple of days ago. They went as low as 5.89. So it's just shy under 6 up to. So again, I gave you the worst scenario, not the best scenario. So these numbers could be even less. Property tax, as we mentioned, is about 1%, so $391. So going back to your mortgage is about. Sorry, let me just open. I want to open that again. Mortgage. So your mortgage payment with taxes comes to $2,789. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I have a place in Kissimmee. I just rented out. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, and I just rented it out. Just the last guest that we had, I got $2,000 for 2 weeks. So when you look at it in that perspective, it's pretty good. You can't go wrong. I mean, you're making about, like I said, you're not going to be, $1 million off this, but it's going to allow you to enjoy your property. It's going to allow you to make money, and it's going to sustain itself. And you don't have to worry about all that red tape dealing with landlord tenant act and all this stuff. And it's going to appreciate year after year. So again, when I look at these things, I keep, in my head, I got checked off. I said, I have, everything's amazing. And it is. And in places like Orlando, for example, and the reason I keep talking about Orlando is just because a lot of my clients have wanted to purchase there. Again, we sell Florida, so I don't want you to think that we're just strictly focused on Orlando. We do sell in other parts of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, you name it. But we're just using this example because it's one of our latest. We wanted to give you something, that we recently worked with, as opposed to giving you something we did, 5 months ago or something like that. So cash flow annually, $13,165,000. I don't know about you guys, but $13,000 a year USD is not so bad in my pocket. It pays my trips to go to Florida or to wherever I want to travel. And remember, guys, travel outside of Florida as well. Like we go to Bahamas a lot or other places. It's relatively really inexpensive when you're leaving from Florida. I have a lot of clients and friends that travel to South America and other places. So it's unbelievable because it's so inexpensive to travel from there. Like we went to Vegas, it cost me $150 a ticket. So, I think that's what we pay in taxes on, plus our ticket. From here, it probably cost me $400 to $600. So big difference. So amazing returns on investment. You get to enjoy your property. You also get to, have fun. You get the weather. I want to go to the Q&A because I think it'd be good to answer a lot of questions for you guys. Because you may have some questions that I didn't answer. So can we go to Sarah, can we go to Q&A?
100%. We have a few questions in there. So guys, if you have any other questions, and Jennifer, did you have any questions while I'm pulling this up?
No, I think this is just an amazing opportunity to have someone that is actually Canadian and understands Canadians and is dual licensed in Florida and actually able with his team to service all of Florida. I just think that's a rare opportunity to have, someone who actually understands us that can help service us down there. So I'm just so grateful to Michael for coming on today and
Thank you.
running us through this. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, and thank you for mentioning that. Yes, we did set up a team specifically geared to help Canadians in the state of Florida. We do have agents there that are helping our clients every day to find the perfect property. And they were trained by us, and they also understand the market, so they can be more effective for all of our lovely Canadians that are buying in the Sunshine State. And I love your green screen there, or the back of the palm tree. I love it, Jennifer. It's amazing.
Yes, I'm actually in Florida right now for
See?
real.
There you go.
In
There you-
Orlando.
How does that work? I have to be in, you said, Michael, I'm not doing this unless you're in Canada. And then you go off to Florida and you don't even tell me.
Exactly. You got it.
Well, we have dual representation, right? We have you in Canada, we have Jennifer
Yeah.
in Florida.
And I
And
just want
I think, again, mentioning that you also have these properties yourself. It's not just that your experience from the real estate side, your team is helping people do it. You're doing this yourself.
I've done this for over a decade. I own properties there. I have been, guys, just want to clarify, I have been my own guinea pig. Okay, everybody that I work with, I handpicked for a reason, is because they're at the same level that we do business, meaning that we take care of our clients and we inform and educate our clients. I think that's the most important thing. And all the professionals that we have, they're amazing. And I use them myself. So I wouldn't recommend anybody unless they use it. Even our cleaning company that we use, everybody uses the cleaning company that I use. Not just a cleaning company, because I know how they work. Right. We do have other projects, guys. We have stuff, for as little as 249,000 brand new, communities on Ocala. But I think let's go to the Q&A and let's answer people's questions. What you got? What you got?
Okay, so the first one here, and I think, again, so especially looking for investors, like people looking to rent it out, what's kind of the percentage that management companies would be charging in Florida? Like if you're looking for somebody to help manage this property for you.
Amazing. So there's kind of two tiers of property management. First tier is somebody just kind of oversees your property when you're not there. So, that is usually about 10% of the monthly return income that the property produces. So if it's bringing in, $1,000, they get $100. Just give you that example. If you are looking for somebody to basically, you want to be completely hands off, where you do not manage the property, you don't do any of the bookings, they take care of all the Airbnb for you, they deal with their own cleaning companies, handy services, you're looking between 18 to 20%. We actually teach our clients how to do it themselves. Because we are also super hosts, because I own multiple properties. So we will assist you and help you to get to that level as well, the proper ways to do it for you guys. But again, that's something that it depends on, how invested you want to be in the management side of it. If you want to oversee it, then you get to keep that 20%, but you're looking at 10% just to basically, not manage, but make sure your property's okay. And then 18 to 20, and that's kind of, you're completely hands off at that point. But we will help.
So it depends on the client, right? Depends on how, like you said, how hands-on they
Some
want.
people say, Michael, I'm too busy. I don't have time. I've got 3 kids. I got stuff to do. Like, I really just want to make some money on this and maybe go there for New Year's or Christmas or something. And I don't want to deal with it. And others are like, hold on, this is kind of fun. I want to do this. I love, decorating and making I like dealing with people. So again, everybody's different, but we will put you with the right, professional that makes sense for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. All right. And the next question we have here in terms of mortgages. So I know you had talked about that. The question is, do you have to have it by a US bank, and the process to arrange? So I know you mentioned that generally it's the partnerships that make the most sense. The banks we're familiar with, RBC, TD, and your team can help with that connection, right? I'm not like on my own going into a Canadian
Not
RBC
at all.
trying to
Actually,
figure
we
this
have
out.
such a good relationship with RBC. The fact is, so let's say, Sarah, you want to get a mortgage, you're interested. You, instead of going online, putting your information, going through the queue, we will kind of bring you to the front of the line. So we will, and also you will be dealing with the most experienced RBC representatives or mortgage specialists that deal with Canadians. So, and I have access to the point where I can text them. So it's at a different level, guys. I'm very fortunate that I work with like the business development of management of RBC US. They've come to my seminars and stuff. So we'll get you answers. So you're in good hands. You can do, pull equity out of your home, buy it cash that way. I personally don't do that, but again, everybody's different. Some people are like, hey, Michael, I don't want a mortgage. I just want to pay for it. That's one option. But we'll guide you through the whole process. You're going to say to me after everything is done, that was not that bad. And I'm going to say, I told you. It's honestly, guys, like I said, I've been doing this, we do transactions all the time, and we've gone through all different types of clients to understand what you guys need. So we want to make sure that it's super, super easy for you. And that's the most important thing. It's easy and stressless.
Which we like, right? Who wants more stress nowadays? So
I can't.
Again, it's not
just
just going in and trying to figure this out ourselves. It's your teams connecting us to, these are the right people in the bank. These are the people that know how to do this for people in Canada, buying in the US, and they know the whole process.
Here, look at it like this. You want to get somewhere, you put into your GPS, and you get to where you need to go. And it gives you the quickest route. And that's what we do. We're your GPS, your map, well, nobody map, you could say map too now, but your navigation system, whatever you want to call it, navigation team to help guide you through the process to get you there quicker, safer, and with less stress.
I like that. Right?
Oh, no
I don't think
stress.
any
How
of us
about
miss the old
no
map
stress?
person trying to drive
You
while
know what the
we're
best
driving,
part,
right?
you know what the best part is? A lot of clients, when they fly in, a lot of times we have meetings in the pool. So that's actually that's the fun part of this whole process. So
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Please go ahead. What's the next question?
Okay, another question here. Again, I think you'd mentioned earlier hurricanes, things that we're not getting here in Canada. Is it possible to get insurance to like cover hurricanes and floods, so you're not, worried about that with your investment properties?
Very, very good question. So yes, about 13 companies pulled out, roughly about 13 companies pulled out of Florida. So there are a few companies that are still left there. We do look at flood zones. So part of the stuff that we do for our clients, especially if they don't understand the location or the area, is we do an analysis of the location to determine if it's in a flood zone. Also, certain areas do get hit by hurricanes a lot more. It is more challenging, guys, I will be honest with you, to get insurance. It's going to be a lot more expensive than it was previously, especially in areas that get hit by hurricanes constantly. I think that's why a lot of, again, I'm not pushing anyone on Orlando or anything like that. It's just a lot of reasons why Orlando has become super, super popular. It's because it's inland, sorry. It's easier to get insurance. It's cheaper. You don't have to worry about hurricanes, because once it hits Orlando, guys, it becomes a tropical storm. Like I was there last year around this time. I go every month, almost every other month or so. And I was just watching Netflix while I was, the hurricane was happening. You do have to prepare, like have some water and stuff like that, but otherwise there was nothing major. I was not worried. Most homes have hurricane windows and hurricane doors. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that comes to, making sure that homes are, hurricane safe. Okay, especially new development, especially new builds. Okay, they've changed a lot and they've gotten a lot more stricter when it comes to how they build. To make sure that homes are, they're not going anywhere. But even if you look at it, Florida, there's homes there from the 50s, 60s, they're still there. I mean, anything near the coast and stuff, obviously your chances of, something happening, I mean, you're kind of in the middle of the eye of the hurricane, as they say, right? Or whatever the case. So
But you guys know certain areas, like, because
yeah,
again, you have the
we will
experience,
guide
you
you
would talk
through.
about that ahead of time and the pros and cons
This
of
is
certain
part of our
areas.
discovery. What we do with our clients is we analyze the property, or we analyze the area to make sure that it's a good fit for them. Some people understand and they're okay with it. Other people just don't know. It's because they've been there once, or they have a cousin there, or their neighbor went there. So they don't really know. They're just basing on their circle of influence. But we'll give them an actual educated answer, as opposed to just, hey, go there because it's pretty.
Right? We like facts and not guesses when it comes to
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
estate.
And we want people to be happy, right? At the end of the day,
Yes,
and safe. So
100%.
yes, you still can get insurance, guys. Again, it depends on where you are. It may be a little more expensive or a little more challenging, but people are still getting insurance. Just to know, Florida has been talking about creating a state insurance for the state. So kind of the government coming in or taking over and saying, we're going to create insurance for Florida as a state instead of third-party insurance companies. So these are, because again, I have to be up to speed, especially so I can be informative for my clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we look forward to more information on that if it comes to fruition. All right, so we have another few questions here. So a two-parter here. So one, there's are these fabled 30-year fixed amortization loan products?
Okay, so they're not, so the way it's happened, because the interest rates went up, they do a 3 and 5 year arm, they call it. So
Okay.
basically, let's say amortization rate is 30 years. Your renewal is in 3 to 5 years. It's kind of almost similar to here, but here's the thing, there's no penalty. So you can change it as needed if you want to pay it out or do whatever. There's no penalties associated with it. So let's say you want to pay it out in a shorter amount of time, you're not penalized. And this is something so again, this is from RBC. I had a conversation with them. I try to speak to them regularly, just to see what's going on, what the changes are. So then when we have questions like this, I can give them answers of today's answers, not what I read 3 weeks ago, or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are options. There are options. And again, like I said, cross-border banking is created for Canadians to buy in the US. It is a product specifically for us. So, which is amazing. People didn't know, I didn't know I could get
special.
Yeah, guys, but doesn't mean go to your branch and talk to your mortgage advisor. They do not know. Okay, they're not
It's specific people that know this.
because they're not trained to do cross-border banking. If you call, they may not have an answer for you.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second question here was, would a 1031 exchange option be eligible in the future, being a foreign investor?
It's a very good question. So a lot of Canadians do not know that 1031 does not apply to Canadians. Now, I've seen people use it under corporations. But again, I'd have to consult with some of our tax attorneys. But as a Canadian, 1031 is for Americans, guys. Misinformation. Again, Google it. You will find out. And these are questions I get asked quite often, and I need to be prepared to give you those answers. But it's designed for Americans. Also want to mention that if you do sell your home, there is a holdback of 15%. Okay. It is held back until you do your taxes to determine what taxes is owed, because especially if you have made money on your home, right? So then they will hold back 15%.
until the
Takes
taxes
about
that are properly
3 months or
assessed.
so. Yeah, it takes about 3 months or so.
Okay.
So they do it depending on how and the professionals that you use to get the rest of your money out. But again, it doesn't mean that they're going to hold all your 15%. You may be paying a lot less. It's just that's what the whole
That's their just in case to make sure that you're paying.
That's their just remember you're
Got
leaving
it.
the country, right? You're leaving the country, so they want to make sure they get paid before you leave, because otherwise, how are they going to get their money?
Right,
So,
makes total sense.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Another question here. So it says, what about the recent issue of developers buying up 80% of HOA building and then forcing out the remaining owners? There's a question that there's, a law maybe about that just in Florida.
So the developers are buying out 80% of the HOA. And sorry, can you repeat the question?
So it's the question here. Gwendolyn had asked, what about the issue of developers buying up 80% of an HOA building and then kind of forcing out the remaining 20% of those owners? Like, is there a law around this or any protection in Florida?
It's a very good question. I haven't heard of this. I don't know, maybe it's something she had read or something, but I haven't heard of this happening. To be honest, I don't have an answer. I don't know. I can look into it.
Absolutely. So Gwendolyn, if you have more follow-up questions, I know
Yeah,
Michael loves questions
guess-
sent over to him. You can go send him emails, follow up
Yeah.
if you have more, concerns later. And I know this guy will find the answers for you.
Yeah. I think her concern is basically, hey, if I buy a property and then developer comes and buys out 80%, what do I do now?
Yes.
Right.
Right. Just making sure we're protected, right? And we know all the ins and outs of this.
Yeah, again, there's another thing we also look at. We look at the financial health of the condo association, the HO, make sure that there's no assessments happening. So
right. So that's the part of the due diligence. Gwendolyn's mentioning it's on the news and YouTube recently about this.
Yeah. So again, like I said, I'm very investor driven. So everything that we do, we analyze. It's not, you get an agent that may just want to sell a property where we actually analyze the properties for you and we help you through the process. Because I want, once you buy it, you made a good conscious decision of purchasing it because you got all the facts, not just somebody selling it to you because they showed you the pool and then you got excited and you saw the big super Walmart or the Target. Everybody loves Target. I don't know, all Canadians, when they got to go to Target. But
I am the same. I can't blame them, right? There's just something magical about a Target.
Do we have any other questions, sir?
We have 2 more here. So is it possible, so that 20% down payment, is it possible to put that down using a line of credit?
Yes. So RBC does not frown upon HELOCs or lines of credit. They just want to know that you could service the debt. So they want to.
So that's part of their due diligence is, your general the health of you.
And they're pretty good. Their turnaround between 24 to 48 hours. So anytime we put an offer on a property, the way we've been doing it in Florida, and it's been the norm is we add the pre-approval letter with every offer. Also, guys, I just want to make well, hey, Michael, well, then what is my condition? How do I get it? What if I need to get out or whatever the case? So there is a clause, they call it contingency. We call it clauses, where it stipulates that you have a 15-day inspection period. It doesn't mean that, something has to have major issues. Because a lot of our clients have bought sight unseen. We do videos for our clients. So anybody that comes in, sometimes they can't fly in right away or whatever the case. I have my team will actually walk through the property, go through everything, make sure we show you the property. Some people have bought sight unseen. You don't have to, you can fly in. We do have representatives to help you, but I'm just saying. And then you have a 15-day inspection period. So what's happened is my clients have got, they secured the property in the sense that it's under contract, they've agreed to the price, and then they fly in to make sure everything's good, and then we finish off the deal. And just another note, I'm just going to leave you another note, guys. There's no lawyers that do real estate. Well, there's lawyers that do real estate law, but they don't do closings. There are title companies, and as a buyer, you use the title company of the seller. So even on the listing, on the MLS listing, it puts the title company's name on there. So even when we're putting the offer, we actually put the title company's name on there as well. And they do the closing, and they have a notary there, and they get it done. So it's usually done at the title companies. If you cannot make it to the United States to do your closing, I had clients do that. There are notaries that can meet you here in Canada to finalize and seal the agreement, or to do your closing papers, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes people just can't fly in.
Right? If the timing doesn't work out, there's still a way to make this happen.
Correct. Yeah. Again,
that.
we've been doing this. I've gone through all the, the different steps, because we've had different situations with every different client. So we figure out a solution to make it convenient for our clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another one here. Do you require a separate US will for US property?
Very good, very good. So here's the thing. Our lovely tax attorneys, they have stated that if you have two wills, one exceeds, because a lot of times when you create a will, the other one exceeds the other will. So you do not want to create a will in the US that exceeds the will in Canada, because then that is null and void, and now you're done. So to answer your
Right.
question, you could have one, and you don't need to have two. But again, that's a good question for the lawyers that we work with that could set that up for you. A lot of people do also put their homes in living trusts as well for tax reasons. Because while you're still alive, and and you also, because of probate and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you do everything properly. Again, like I keep stressing, we do everything properly to make sure that you're protected. So we want
Yes.
to make sure that you are working with top people, immigration lawyers, tax attorneys, not just accountants. We have accountants as well, which are amazing. Also immigration law firms, the banks, not just a mortgage broker, but the actual bank. We deal with RBC Bank. We do have amazing brokers as well, but we want to make sure that everything is done accordingly, so you have peace of mind that you can enjoy your property, and you also want to know that you're protected and you're okay if anything happens. Because I think that's a
100%.
key thing, especially if you have a family, we want to make sure our kids and so forth, and our spouse or whoever, like, everybody's good. So,
Absolutely.
right?
So again, you can talk to a lawyer. This is part of the process, but you don't need a secondary will. That can be something that's incorporated into your, existing estate planning documents if you're talking to the right people.
Correct. Yeah.
Love it.
Yes. So like I said, we've created a system designed to help Canadians secure property in the state of Florida. And I think that was where the big disconnect was, Sarah, where people would go there, meet a realtor or meet another professional, and they would not get the right information.
Right.
And then they would do stuff, and then after they would start, hey, why did I do that? Or because once you buy the property, you already bought it, right?
Yes.
Now and then you've already spent money on doing the wrong documentation, or the wrong corporation documents, or setting up your will incorrectly, because a US lawyer is going to tell you something different than a Canadian lawyer.
Right.
But you need someone that does cross-border, that's going to tell you what you need as a Canadian buying in the US, that works for you. So it's a little bit different. They have to understand both laws, because
Yes.
again, America, yes, we speak the same language, it feels familiar, but again, it's the United States. They have different laws than we do.
And that's why we hire the professionals, right?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. And guys, again, if you had a realtor that invited you here, please reach out to them, and they'll reach out to me or reach out to us at suncasagroup.com. I have a QR code I wanted to share as well, but is there any other questions that we need to answer, sir? Or
I think we're good. Gwendolyn was just following up again that, about a specific law in Florida that allows certain developers to buy it with the HOA. So what I would say, Gwendolyn, is we're going to blast up all the contact information here. And that's something that I know Michael's happy to
Gwendolyn, you are
clarify.
my favorite kind of client, and I'll tell you why. Because you make me think. And every time I get somebody like you allow me to get better for my clients. So the questions that you are asking, I want to know the answers for. So why don't we do that? Let's get you those answers.
Absolutely.
Okay. And let me see if I can share my QR code, if I can get on here. If not, we could just suncasagroup.com. And they can,
Love
you know,
it.
reach out to us on our website, and also please reach out to, if you had, like I said, if you had one of, you know, amazing realtors from the Jennifer Jones team, or reach out to them, and they'll reach out to me.
Absolutely. We're always happy to connect with other industry experts, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and taking, you know, an hour and a bit out of your evening. And I just want to leave you guys with a note. Life is better in the sun. And I hope to see you guys in the state of Florida. And hopefully the backdrop that I have here is going to be real palm trees, not not a green screen. So
Absolutely. We love that. I think, you know, like you said, it's getting colder. We're all thinking of sunny Florida. So thank you so much for your time this
Thank
evening,
you.
Michael. We appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming on. And
Thank you
guys,
so much.
thank you so much again for joining us. And
Thank you, guys.
reach out suncasa.com if you have questions, and they'll have the answer to everything.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all.
Thanks so much. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.